So let's move over to Roth Conversions. Now, this is part 3 of our Roth Conversion series. And the question is, when is the best time to convert an IRA to a Roth? Well, let's take a look at this. What you have here is a chart. This chart is of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and it runs from 2019 to end of 2024. What I'm going to demonstrate here is what was the prevailing strategy that our firm has implemented on Roth conversions. Well, Kim, when it comes to Roth conversions in the past, we've always done them at some kind of dip in the market, right? Trying to take a strategic stance at, converting low and then growing those assets up tax-free. The issue with that is what? We don't know when the dip's coming, right?
Timing.
It's timing. It's trying to make those dips. And if you're get in that dip, that's fantastic, and you really do win at that point. But what if a dip doesn't come? I guess we can look at 2024, right? We were expecting a dip in the market. Kim, did the dip come?
No, we had to do them all at the end of the year.
Yeah, we had to do it all at the end of the year. And that's logistically kind of a challenge there because, we all get notices from the custodian saying, hey, if you want to make changes, do it in November. Don't do it in December because we're going to be flooded. And we kind of flooded them in December with Roth conversions. So historically, we've looked at dips. Whenever we got a dip, we would take advantage of that dip in the market. But I'm gonna do a shout out to Arden because Arden, during a meeting last year, brought up a white paper that he was looking at and a concept of strictly doing Roth conversions at the beginning of the year. So what did we do? Well, you know what? We may not know everything, but if we get a good plan or a good strategy, we're going to research it and we're going to implement if it is a good strategy. And in this case, what we found, it makes a lot of sense. So how does that new strategy work? Well, first of all, what we found is that converting in January, you have a much greater success at going in low and coming out high at the end of the year. Take a look at this. If we did a Roth conversion every January for clients, there is only 1 year out of the last 6 where the stock market was actually down during the year that we did the conversion. Well, I don't know about you, but in my book, that's a big win. Because even with the conversion we did in the down year, the market still was up 2 years later. So it still ended up being a win. This strategy is a strategy we're going to employ moving forward. Now, again, 5 out of the last 6 years ended up. So let's go a step further. Are there other times in the market cycle that are also advantageous to do a conversion? Well, the answer to that is yes. Now, when you look at these 6 years, there's actually 3 additional opportune times to do Roth conversion. In other words, even if you did a Roth conversion at the beginning of the year, you could actually take advantage of doing an additional conversion at a much better inflection point and win on both sides. Yeah, I guess you could look at it, Kim, like dollar cost averaging, right?
Right.
It makes sense in this scenario. Doing it on dips is a very good thing to do. Now, looking at the exceptions of the rule, again, we know there's always exceptions. The first one we talked about was the dip in the market. The second, as you can see, the arrows moved over to December. Now, why did they do that? Well, because if you are actually prone to fluctuating capital gains, and I'm talking about some big capital gains, could be 25, could be 50, could be $100,000 in capital gains that you could get at any given year, then you're probably going to want to do the Roth conversion in December. Why? Because you're going to have a better understanding of what your capital gains are for that year before you pull the trigger on the Roth conversion. And that will help keep you within the targeted bracket that you want to stay in. So it's very important with these strategies to understand that yes, January is the best. The exceptions are going to be dips in the market and if you're prone to large capital gains. And I would also have to say that if you are prone to a lot of large capital gains, it really does make sense to get into one of our white glove programs with City National Rockdale, Clark Capital, William Blair, where we can actually better control your capital gains. And in the event that you have a lot that could be executed and we need to delay them, we can certainly do that through our white glove program.